My girlfriend was talking on the phone with a friend while I sat next to her, headphones in. I wasn't meant to overhear, but every word reached me. She told her friend, "He's perfect on paper," and then added that he makes her cringe whenever he tries to be romantic. I didn't say anything. I just stayed quiet, pretending to focus on whatever I was doing. That night, quietly, I booked a one-way ticket and called our landlord to remove my name from the lease. Since then, she hasn't stopped calling. 112 messages, 69 missed calls. But by the time that changed, it was too late. It wasn't just the words that broke something inside me. It was how natural they sounded from her, like she'd rehearsed them, like she'd been holding on to them for a while. I'm a sound engineer. My days are buried in audio. Cleaning it, fixing it, perfecting it. So, when my noise-canceling headphones glitched that Tuesday afternoon while I was editing a podcast on the couch, I didn't immediately swap them out. I was curious, maybe I could figure out what went wrong. Nora sat across the sectional, legs tucked under her, phone in hand, chatting with her friend Meline. This was our routine. Her on calls, me in my own world. We had mastered the art of sharing space quietly over 3 years. But suddenly, her voice pierced the broken silence. "I mean, he's stable, has a solid job, good with money, treats me well," she said. "But God, Maddie, he makes me cringe when he tries to be romantic." My hands froze. My eyes stayed on the screen where the audio waves of the podcast pulsed, but I wasn't listening anymore. I was stuck on her words. "Like last night, he made this whole camel for dinner and wrote me this poem." She chuckled softly. I had to fake a work call just to pull myself together. The dinner, the poem, our anniversary. I had poured so much thought into making her feel loved, special, and she had to compose herself while saying it. She kept talking. "Don't get me wrong. Care about him. Really do. But sometimes it feels like I'm dating someone who learned romance off a WikiHow page. So predictable." I waited for some redeeming line, some soft landing. "He makes me cringe, but I love him anyway. It's formulaic, but I know he means well." Never came. Eventually, her conversation shifted to her friend's job, but I was frozen in that instant. I should have taken off the headphones, said something, confronted her. Like in the movies, right? Instead, I stayed seated, pretending to focus on the podcast I couldn't hear. 20 minutes later, she gestured toward the kitchen, mouthing a silent offer. I smiled and nodded, just as usual. That night, while she showered, I sat at the edge of our bed, thinking about all the tiny moments I'd brushed off. The way she gently moved my hand away when I tried to dance with her at the office party. The surge of urgent work calls during our date nights. The brief pause before she said, "I love you too." I had blamed it on stress or promotions, the natural drift that comes with time. But now it all made sense. I caught her off guard as she emerged with a towel wrapped around her head. I casually asked about her call with Meline. "Anything new on that promotion?" Nora replied smoothly, like always. She had no clue I'd overheard. No hesitation, no flicker. In that moment, I realized how easy it would be to keep pretending. Dependable, carrying me, but secretly a source of amusement. That night, I held her longer than usual. She asked if I was okay. I told her I was just feeling grateful. She fell asleep fast. I didn't. The next morning, I waited until she left for work, then packed. Not everything, just what mattered. My gear, a week's clothes, essential documents for a fresh start. The closet looked odd, half empty, as if unsure whether someone had left or was coming back. I hesitated briefly, then called the landlord to remove my name. By the time she returned, I was gone. Our lease was month to month, awaiting renewal. Nora earned enough to cover rent, her credit flawless. She wouldn't struggle, just face the inconvenience of my absence. I left a note, not a poem. No more awkward, overly sentimental gestures. Just truth, plain and direct. "Nora, I overheard your call with Meline yesterday. You said I make you cringe when I try to be romantic. You mentioned the dinner and the poem, how you had to fake a work emergency to escape. I'm not angry, but I can't unhear it. I can't stay where the way I love makes you uncomfortable. By the time you read this, I'll be on a plane to Portland. I removed my name from the lease and paid next month's share so you have time to adjust. I hope you find someone whose way of loving feels right to you. I left it on the kitchen counter next to my cup of tea. My flight wasn't until evening, so I spent the day at a cafe near my brother's friend's apartment, planning to stay there until I found my own place. I put my phone on airplane mode. I wasn't ready for the messages. The calls or the flood of messages. I needed space to breathe, to detach. The journey itself was a haze. Checking my bag, navigating security, squeezing into the cramped seat, the engine hum, the low murmur of announcements. I focused on logistics, trying to push the memories that kept clawing back. Once I landed and settled into the small spare room, I powered my phone back on. Instantly, notifications swarmed me. 112 texts, 69 missed calls, voicemails, emails, even Instagram DMs, though we rarely used that. I scrolled from the beginning. James, what is this? Call me. Are you serious? You're leaving over one comment. This is so childish. I can't believe you're doing this. Please call me back. I didn't mean it like that. You're overreacting. It was just girl talk. Hours later, the tone shifted. I'm worried about you. At least tell me you're okay, James. Please, we can work this out. People say dumb things sometimes. I don't know why I said that. You know how Maddie is. She brings out the worst in me. Your brother won't tell me where you are. Just talk to me. Love you. Eventually, the messages turned emotional. Love you. Miss you. I'm so sorry. Please come home. Voicemails followed the same pattern. Starting with irritation, then pleading, finally dissolving into tears. Her voice cracked near the end, words choked with emotion. It would have been easy to feel triumphant, to think I'd won some moral victory. But that wasn't why I left. I left because something inside me shifted the moment I heard her words. In that instant, I understood we weren't right for each other. Not because she was bad, she's not, and not because I'm flawless, I'm far from it. But some divides are uncrossable. Either someone accepts your love or they recoil. No negotiation can bridge that. I sent one message. I'm safe. I'm in Portland staying with friends, and I'm not coming back. Nora, I deserve someone who sees my love as sincere, not awkward. You deserve someone whose way of showing affection feels natural, not uncomfortable. I hope one day you understand this was the right choice for both of us. Then I muted the thread. I didn't block her. This wasn't punishment. I just needed silence, space, a fresh start. My brother helped me find a temporary job at his company. Not permanent, just enough to keep busy while I figured things out. I rented a studio apartment a few blocks from the office. Big windows, warm afternoon light. I bought a few plants. I'm terrible at keeping them alive, but I'm trying. I still write sometimes. Not for anyone, just for myself. My poetry is probably clumsy, obvious, full of rhyme and raw feeling, but I've started to love it when it's mine alone. No one's opinion matters. Nora still reaches out sometimes. The messages have changed. Not desperate, now more reflective. Last week, she said my honesty made her see how closed off she'd been, how it forced her to examine patterns in other relationships. She said she's working on it. Hope she is. I want her to be okay, but I don't regret that flight. I don't regret leaving. There's a coffee shop near my apartment where the barista crafts intricate latte foam designs. Last Tuesday, she made a treble clef. I'd mentioned once that I work in sound engineering. That's amazing, I said. She smiled shyly. Too much? Yes. Not at all, she said. Perfect. I don't know if anything will come of it, and that's fine. The point isn't where it leads. It's that I no longer twist myself to fit someone else's idea of acceptable. I speak how I speak. I love how I love. Oh, and the headphones, they weren't broken. I'd accidentally pressed the ambient sound button, letting outside noise in while music played. A tiny mistake that changed everything. Sometimes I wonder if Nora ever realized the irony, that I overheard her say she was embarrassed by my affection, when all I wanted was to be close while giving her space. Maybe the most romantic thing I ever did happened completely by accident.